U.S. cases of coronavirus more than doubling.
Tens of thousands have died.
In New Jersey, the governor has just declared a public health state of emergency in the Garden State.
We want to be very clear about what is essential, and we expect people to stay home.
Last year has been full of unexpected hardships, never before seen challenges, and sacrifices big and small. In the face of it all, our stylist community has shown resilience, kindness, resourcefulness, and courage. Together, we gave millions of people a reason to smile, a glimmer of hope, and beautiful nails. Thank you for shining bright and making this year sparkle. Now, let's get ready to run.
U.S. cases of coronavirus more than doubling.
Tens of thousands have died.
In New Jersey, the governor has just declared a public health state of emergency in the Garden State.
We want to be very clear about what is essential, and we expect people to stay home.
Last year has been full of unexpected hardships, never before seen challenges, and sacrifices, big and small. In the face of it all, our stylist community has shown resilience, kindness, resourcefulness, and courage. Together, we gave millions of people a reason to smile, a glimmer of hope, and beautiful nails. Thank you for shining bright and making this year sparkle. Now, let's get ready to run.
Hello, team. How is everybody doing tonight? All right. I know I have shown that video more than once, but I just have to say it just gets me like super excited for where Color Street has been in the past year, and I could watch it over and over and over, and I still get just as excited. Okay. All right. So tonight I'm here to chat with y'all. Let's see. What was my title? It said it was, I can see clearly now that the new stylist Color Street fog has cleared. Okay. I know that a lot of y'all that are probably on this video might be new stylist, and thank you, Martha, for asking me to hop on and chat with y'all. So some of y'all might be new stylists. Some of y'all might be stylists who have been here for a while. You might be watching this replay. Either way, it doesn't matter. Drop a comment and let me know when you join Color Street, because I think all of this kind of is going to all kind of mix together once I finish my chat with y'all tonight. Okay. So if y'all don't know about me, again, my name's Leah Lindsay because it says it in the corner of the screen, and I'm with Ladies Have Nailed It. And I will be with Color Street on Valentine's. So on Sunday, it will be 3 years. So I cannot believe that it's been 3 years that I've had the privilege to do this. And I will tell y'all, I promise you, I get the same questions over and over and over. And so that's why I thought, you know what? I'm going to take the questions that Martha sent over because I feel like I see some of these same questions a lot. And I'm just going to like cover it like really in depth and cover a lot of different areas with it. And then that way we can always share it with different people. But okay, so a little bit about me. I'm a wife and I'm a mom to 3 little girls. And I'm going to tell you about my little girls because I'm specifically going to talk about my middle child as I get this going. Her name is Harper. So Morgan's my oldest, Harper is my middle child, and then Millie is the little one. So you'll probably, if you follow me on Instagram or Facebook, I'm always posting about my kids and all their craziness because it's crazy in the house. And you can see in my bathtub right now, I'm not bathing a kid, but I'm bathing a fiddly fig tree. Okay. Like that's just reality. That's just how it is at the Lindsay house. Okay. But I'm going to tell y'all a little bit about my daughter, Harper, because I was sitting here thinking tonight as I was like putting all this together, I'm like, how can I put all this like into perspective, right? Okay, so my daughter Harper, when this was before she was 1, we went to her wellness checkup, okay, just to have like a regular checkup. And when we went, we left there and the pediatrician gave us a note and was like, hey, you need to go find like a specialist. There's something wrong with her vision. Like literally that was like all the real information we got. And so me as like a mom, I'm like, her vision, like what in the world is wrong? And so I'm like calling all these doctors, trying to like figure out all this information. And we ended up taking her to just like a regular like pediatrician doctor that was kind of like a specialist in like pediatrics. Okay. So we went there and he was her doctor for a while. And then we tried like all these different things with her, all these different like vision tests and vision screenings. And like we would play on the floor with her and like do all these different, like, I don't even know what we were doing. And I'm like, what is he trying to figure out? Okay. What he was trying to figure out is like what she was seeing because she wasn't even 1 at the time. So she couldn't tell us what she couldn't see, right? Like to her world, that was normal to her world, what she was seeing. So over time, you know, we would try different prescription lenses and different glasses and like, oh my gosh, we had so many pairs of glasses. Like it was not even funny. We had pinks and yellows and whatever ones I could get her to wear for the day. And then after a while going to that doctor, we ended up having to go to a specialist. We had to like find someone in the state that was like a pediatric, like some big word. I have no idea. So she was like this specialist person. Okay. So we had to work our way from like the pediatrician up to like this specialist doctor. Cause we had to figure out like what is wrong with her vision and like, what can we do as parents to take the best care of her. Right. So again, it's more doctor's appointments and meetings and tests and screenings and like all of these things that we had to do. Okay. So we thought we got her into this like perfect prescription and that like things were rocking and rolling. And we go into the last doctor's appointment and we're so pumped because the doctor's like, you know, I walk in and I'm like, I know like this is like the end of like this big journey with this like special doctor. And then we can go back to like a regular doctor. And the doctor walks in and she's automatically like, something's changed. And I'm like, what do you mean? I'm like, the doctor automatically saw something was different with her vision. And I was like, I don't see anything different. Like she looks the same to me. And she's like, nope. She was like, Leah, I thought I was going to let y'all go this week. She's like, but no, everything's drastically changed. She has to have surgery. And I'm like, what? Like, you know, that's like, I'm like, we went through all these steps. We did everything the right way. And then like, now, like, did we do something wrong? And all these things come into play. Okay. So long story short, Harper had her surgery. Everything's fine. She still has some vision things going on, but we don't have to go to the specialist all the time like we had to. Like, we kind of figured out what she needed to maintain like the vision and the stuff that she needed for her life. Okay. Like, we kind of figured that out, but it wasn't an easy process. There were all these obstacles that we had to overcome. Okay. And like the stress of it, you know? So, I tell y'all all of this because everything we do in life, there's different journeys that we go through and different processes and steps that we have to take, right? And I want y'all to think about Color Street kind of being that same kind of situation that you might have encountered in your life at some point, whether it was like a new job or, you know, moving to a new city, or there was something different that was happening in your life and you had to overcome obstacles. Okay. Like, things happened and you have to either learn how to like deal with it, or like, what are you going to do? Just like stumble upon it and like not be able to move on and just be stuck where you are. Like, you don't want that, right? Like, you want to overcome the obstacles. So, I was thinking tonight, I was thinking that, you know, a lot of times when you join as a new stylist, okay, and so some people join like, some people join like 3 months ago. Some people join in April. All right. So when you join as a new stylist and you get in to the team page and like all these people are like, welcome to the team. Here are 475,000 resources. Go and read everything and then come back and let me know what questions you have. Okay. You're overwhelmed, right? You're like, oh my gosh, I don't even know where to begin. Like, I don't even know like how to order business cards, you know? And like, people are telling me to read this book. So in the beginning, it's like, I feel like there's like a Color Street fog that's like thrown at you. And you're just like, I don't even know where to look because it's just all so much at one time. Like, I don't, you know, I feel like I need to be booking parties. I need to be recruiting. I need to be following up with my customers. I need to be doing this and doing that. And what ends up happening is I think a lot of times people get really like overwhelmed and they just don't even know where to start. Okay. Sometimes I'm the same way. Okay. So tomorrow, the yearbook ad is due for my kids' school. Okay. It seems like a really simple task. You take a picture of your children, you write a blurb about them, and then you email it in to the yearbook people, and then they publish it for you. Okay. But for me, I'm overwhelmed. I'm like, but what picture do I put in? Well, should it be all 3 kids or should it just be the 2 kids? Should it be like, can Millie be in the picture or not in the picture because she doesn't go to the school? So see what's happening is I'm like, it's a very simple task of literally picking a picture, writing something about the kids and hitting submit. But I've been hung up on this thing for like 4 weeks now. And I'm losing sleep over it. And it's like, I'm like, thank goodness the deadline's here because now I have to submit it, right? Like, the same thing happens to us as new stylists, okay? You know, we get all the stuff that we're getting, and it's just like overwhelming. It's overwhelming, okay? So I want you right now, if you're here with me still, I want you to stop in the middle of all of the fog that you're sitting in. And I want you to think to yourself, what could happen? What could happen? Okay. So there's pretty much like 3 things that could happen here. All right. Could you fail? 100%. You could be like, close the computer. I'm done. I'm not sending that email. I'm not posting that Nelfie. I'm out of here. Could you try? You know, I mean, you could try. I mean, it's just like me. I like try to work out. Like, my friends make fun of me because I will join like any gym because I guess I feel like if I join the gym, then that's going to like make me like have a 6-pack. I mean, I don't really know why I joined the gym, but that's me like trying. I like tried to work out because I joined the gym, right? Another thing I was going to tell y'all when I said, could you fail? If you haven't already heard my Color Street story about how I almost quit Color Street, like you should go back and listen to that one too, because I almost quit Color Street. Okay. Just like I try to work out. All right. But would you give it your all just to see what happens? Okay. Would you see like, all right, let me like think this through and just give it my all and see where this takes me, okay? But I want to take a step back because there's a group of people, there's like several groups of people within the business, okay? There's people that are probably like me when I first joined Color Street, and they were like, I have a small goal, okay? I want to accomplish this. All right. And then they might accomplish the goal. And then they're like, okay, I'm done. Peace out. I'm going to like go on to another adventure. Or they might be like, you know what? I'm just really digging this Ladies Have Nailed It and like their team logo and like their inspirational quotes. And I just want to stick around because I want to be here for like the community. Okay. And then you've got these people out here that are like ride or die Color Street. You know, we got like the sweatshirts and we got like the banners and we got all the stuff that we need because we are like here for the show. We are here. We're 100%. Now, when I first started, I was probably like the person with like, I have a really small goal. And now I'm the person with like, you know, I don't have a banner, but you know, I'm like the ride or die Color Street person. Okay. So at some point in time, you're going to like figure out what you are with the business. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to move on. Okay. So, because what I'm saying is like, you might be here just for like the fun. And then that might change into like, gosh, I'm minding my throat. That might change into something like so much bigger. Okay. And either way is fine. It doesn't matter where you are in the spectrum. Like we love you all. We welcome everyone to the team. But I want you to think about two things. Okay. So we always talk about our why. We always talk about, well, my why is I want to do something for myself. I want to have a small business for myself and something that I'm doing for me. And, you know, your why is something that's like ever evolving. Okay. Like one day it might be this, and then, forgot to click my little banners. One day it might be, this might be my why. And then in like 6 months, your why might change to something else. But over time, that why tends to change. Okay. My why has changed 1,000,000 times. And that's okay, because you want it to be something that you're like passionate about and that you are like, this is what I want. That your why is like this really big thing. Okay. All right. And then there's something called your vision. All right. All right. So do y'all see where I'm going here with my memes or my themes? Like I can see clearly now that the Color Street fog is gone. Okay. And then we start to have our vision because the fog is going away. All right. So after a while, when you've been in the business for a while and you've kind of figured out your why, and then you kind of start to figure out your vision. Okay. And then people are like, well, wait, what's a vision? We haven't talked about that before. So I had Siri look it up. I'm like, hey, Siri. She's probably going to come up and try to talk to us. I knew she would. Okay. I said, what is the definition of vision? Okay. So what's the definition of vision? Vision is a mental image of what the future will or could be like. All right. Remember earlier when I asked you what could happen? Okay. And I said, could you fail? Could you try? Could you give it your all? Okay. And that kind of goes back in line with your vision. It's the mental image of what the future will or could be like. So say you're sitting here and you're thinking, okay, so this is my why, and it's really big. And then here's my vision. And like your vision is like your long-term thing. And your why is something that you're like working on right now. All right. So you have these two things in place. You have your why and then you have your vision. Okay, so say you've got like both of these and they're kind of on this like, you know, what's that thing called? Like a scale, okay? And like they're kind of evened out, like your why and your vision. Okay. Things come along. All right. So how about this? You're a new stylist. You're like so excited. You're like, I know what my why is, know what my vision is. I've got some new pencils and some new highlighters. My upline gave me this like notebook and this like really cool Color Street bag. And like, I am like gung-ho Color Street, and I'm going to go out there and I'm going to message 30 people, and I'm going to book like 10 nail bar parties. And then Fall's going to call my cell phone number because he's going to be like, you're the best stylist ever. And you're like so excited because like this business is just like the best, right? But then guess what happens? Obstacles come in our way, okay? Things happen. And those 30 people that you messaged on Facebook, they might ghost you, okay? And that might be like, I don't want to book a nail bar party. Just like today, someone was messaging me about booking a party. And I just was like, I got to say yes or no. I cannot ghost her. I cannot ghost her, okay? Or say you get like really excited and you book all these nail bar parties and then like no one sells anything. None of your friends buy anything because no one's on Facebook right now because everyone's like moved over to like the new Snapgram or something, you know, and all these crazy things are happening and you're like, I don't know how to like get my business where it needs to go, right? So you have to put into place and think about your vision and your why. They have to outweigh the obstacles that you're going to come across. Okay. Because I promise you, every single person on this call is going to come across an obstacle that's going to make them challenge, why am I here? Should I be here? Should I be doing this? Am I wasting my time? Do I need to be like spending all this time? You know, all that's going to happen. It's going to have all these things that question you. But if you have these goals set in place, it's going to make it easier to jump back in when you're struggling. Okay. And I did a really terrible job of like clicking all of my little banners that I wanted to click over here. But I want everyone, because I did click this one. So I want everyone to share. You can either share with me what your why is. Okay. You can share with me your vision, if you've thought about your vision. And then I want you to share with me what could get in the way. Okay. Like what obstacles out there can get in the way. Because I promise you, those are going to be the easiest ones to jot down and answer. Your why and your vision are going to take a little bit of time to think, right? But the negative things are going to be the easy things for you to just like throw out there, okay? Because that's the easiest thing to do is to be like, this happened and that happened, okay? So if you can comment, feel free to drop your comments in. Okay, and I'm going to keep going. All right, I've got a little bit more time left, all right, as everyone drops in their comments. Okay, so a couple of questions that I got, like always, and it's fine, but a lot of the topics that people want to know are, I'm going to circle back to this one. So it was, what are some things you wish you knew early on in your journey, okay? All right, so I'm going to ask y'all that question. Is there something you wish you could tell yourself as a new stylist that you know now that you didn't know then? And would it change where you are today? So my answer to that question is for you to realize that everyone's, that this is a process, this is a journey. Everyone joins at different times and at a different pace. Some people have direct sales experience, some people don't. Sometimes some people have families, some people don't. Some people have jobs, some people don't. So it's not easy to just like put it all out there and just say, you know, like, I wish I could tell myself this. if I could go back and tell myself anything, it would pretty much be, Leah, just give it your all. Like, give it your all. Okay. Like, when the self-doubt comes in, just like push it away and push that negative energy into like your business and into something like positive. Okay. And to not be so hard on yourself and realize that this is a process. It's something you're doing in life. There's going to be ebbs and flows. There's always going to be somebody that's better than you in the business. There's always going to be someone beating you. You're not always going to be the first. You're not always going to be the last. You're probably going to fall somewhere in the middle. And that's okay, because it's not a competition. We're just all working our business on our own way. Okay. So just give yourself grace and know that, and no one's like sitting there with a microscope and like judging everything that you're doing and saying and like, you know, picking it all apart. You're the only person that's picking all of these pieces apart. Okay. So, just think about it, like I said, that in the beginning, there's probably some color street fog as a new stylist, but over time, that's going to clear away. You're going to have a more clear vision. You're going to have a better idea of your why. When obstacles come your way, you're going to be able to figure out how to overcome those obstacles, okay? And in a professional way. All right, so here's the other thing that I was going to chat with y'all about. Okay, so like I said, a lot of the questions I get are about recruiting, customer care and follow-up, booking parties, all the stuff. It's all the same type of questions, which is great. We love questions. All right, so I want to share with y'all. Okay, this is not the original, all right? But this is pretty much one of the original Leah notebooks. All right. So back in the day, this is hilarious. I literally just flipped to this page. And the first word that came up was funnel system. And that's what I'm about to talk about. Y'all, that's hilarious. It's literally sitting in this notebook. So when I was writing all this stuff out, I've moved like 15 times since I've been with Color Street. And so all of my notebooks are like all over the place, but I'm not, ask any of my friends, I'm not an Excel guru. Like, all that stuff is really overwhelming to me. But what's easy to me is a notebook and a pencil. And that's it. That's all I need to run my business. Okay. For me, it doesn't have to be anything like super, super fancy. For me, it's like, okay, what's fast and easiest? Okay. So I used to have this really big notebook, and I'm going to find it one day, but it was like one of the big ones, and it was really thick. And I would just go from page to page to page and write down like my business and where my business was going, like where my customers were, where my follow-up was, how I needed to work the business. Because you'll realize over time that you've got all these things going on and you're like, how do I stay organized? Okay, you've got to figure out what the best organizational method is for you. Like, is it Excel or is it a notebook from Walmart? You know, do you need all the fancy things or do you just need the basics? Okay, whatever you need, and makes your heart flutter, like, just do that. Okay. But make something. It doesn't matter what it is. Like, that's going to be your call to action. If you don't have a system like right now in place, when we get off of this call, I want you to have a system in place. Okay. A system of how you work the business, of how you follow up with your customers. Okay. All right. So this is how this works. All right. It's really simple. So you get your notebook, you call a friend, and you tell your friend, hey, friend, I need you to book a nail bar party with me because I need a nail bar party booked. All right. So that friend, this is a funnel system. Okay. So just think the funnel starts really big at the top and then it like narrows down to the bottom. And y'all, obviously this works because I wrote it in this notebook, you know, with my green marker. Who knows how many years ago this was, y'all? This was probably 2 years ago that I wrote this in this notebook. And then I still go by it, okay, because it works. Okay. So how this works is, let's back up before we book the party, okay? Let's just start with a sample. So you give a sample to a friend, or you give a sample to someone that like asked for a sample on Facebook, but you give out one single sample, okay? So you give a sample out to someone. All right, so then I would write their name down in my notebook. So say their name is Hollis, okay? So I give Hollis a sample. So I write her name down in a notebook, and then I'm gonna draw a line, and then I'm gonna write 1 week on top of that little line here. You all see how fancy I am? This is my kids writing up here. And then I'm gonna draw another line. All right, so then I know, okay, I gave Hollis this sample. I gave her the sample, and then I sent her an application video on Facebook Messenger, or I texted it to her. And in 1 week, I'm going to follow up with Hollis, and I'm going to ask her how her sample was, okay? Because I'm going to guarantee you right now, if you send a sample to someone, they're not going to message you and tell you how the sample was. You're going to have to call them, and you're going to have to ask them how was their sample, okay? Say they loved it, and they're like, oh my God, this was so easy. It's so much fun. Okay. Here we go. Ask them, would you like to host a nail bar party, or would you like to place an order? Are they interested in placing an order? Here are some of our new sets that we have in stock, okay? It's literally like rinse and repeat. It's just the same thing over and over and over. We don't have to reinvent the wheel. It's a very simple process, okay? So, like I said, so you give them the sample, you follow up with them, okay? They really liked it. They bought a set, and they like wore it, and then they posted a nail fee, or they told their friends about it. And you're like, hey, Hollis, would you mind having a nail bar party with me? You know, it's really simple and easy to do. We just get a couple of your friends to, you know, either get on the Facebook party, use your on-demand party, have a text party. There's so many different ways to have parties now, and we have all that training, and ladies have nailed it, okay, and have them host a party, all right? And then this is where I think a lot of people mess up, and they miss a big, huge chunk is, say you get 10 people in a nail bar party. You might not think that's a lot of people, but in my mind, I'm thinking that's jackpot, okay? Because you've got 10 people in a nail bar party. So you've got 10 potential customers, 10 potential hostesses, and just think each person has 10 friends, right? At least 10 friends. So you're just talking about, like, you could work that one party and work through each person in that one party and build and build and build your business, like slowly and slowly, slowly off of just one nail bar party, okay? But you have to reach out to each one. You can either tag them in post in the party. You can offer to send them samples. But you've got to follow up with them with everything that you do, okay? So it's really funny. My friend had a, oh my gosh, it's not Tupperware. The other direct sales party. My brain's not working. And I purchased some stuff from her the other day. In my mind, I was thinking, I wonder if she's going to message me, and one, ask me if I want to host a party, and two, ask me if I got all my products in. Well, this girl did her job, okay? She followed up with me. She asked me to host a party. You know, I'm not going to reach out to her and be like, hey, girl, can I host a party with you? No, she had to come to me, okay? So we have to do the same thing. Don't feel like you're bothering people, okay? If you're just making it like, hey, I noticed that you really like Color Street, you know, would you like to have a nail bar party with me? It's just a very casual passing conversation that you're having with the customers, okay? But you have to have it in an organized way, okay? So that's why, I wish I could find my old notebook, but that's why mine's like this, all right? And it's literally like the person's name, you know, when they got their sample, how I followed up with them, did they purchase, did I follow up with them after they purchased to make sure all their stuff came out? Did I ask them if they'd be interested in hosting a nail bar party? I would even go as far as seeing how many people were in each nail bar party and then writing down the names of all the people in the nail bar party and seeing what type of interaction I can get with each person within that party. Okay. And that's like digging even deeper into the nail bar party, is you're having to like reach out to each one of the people that joined the party, because they agreed and they said yes to coming into the party. Sometimes they just need that extra little like, hey, you want to give this a try perspective. Okay. So I hope that makes sense. All right. We're not like being pushy. We're just trying to figure out if they've tried it, if they like it, and then follow up. Okay. So really, it is just doing the same action over and over. And then for recruiting, this is where your recruiting comes in. Okay. You have your customers that had a really great nail bar party, or they had a lot of fun with a nail bar party. And then you introduce and just drop seeds of information to them, and information of, hey girl, would you be interested in becoming a Color Street stylist? You know, your party went really well. You know, you did a great job, you know, with your party, advertising it to your friends. This is then when you can invite them to the stylist sneak peek. And we just did our first stylist sneak peek on YouTube the other week. That would be a great link to send them to, just for them to watch and see what our team and our business and our culture is all about. And then we even have our Facebook group as well. And then we also have our little link that they can scroll through and read about what it's like to become a stylist. So there's just so many resources out there. But just think about it that way, as a funnel system. And then that is how all of those questions that we get about recruiting, customer care, follow-up, booking parties, all of that really falls under that one funnel system that I just talked about. Okay. And then how you get through that funnel system, and how you get through those hiccups and those people that ghost you and don't answer you, is just looking back and thinking about your vision and your why, and making sure that those two things far outweigh the obstacles that we're all going to reach within the business. Okay. Because we've all been there. I mean, after 3 years, I can't even imagine how many no's I've gotten. Okay. But it was okay, because I got some yeses to some people that really changed my entire business. Okay. And I will say, in the beginning, a lot of it was me being naive and not knowing like what I was doing, and just kind of probably asking people back then if they would join the business, that now to today, I would probably be like, oh, I don't know if I would ask that person. But back then I was just like, oh, I don't really know any difference. Let me just ask everybody. So it all kind of works out. So I hope that this kind of answered some of the questions that I had that kind of rolled in. And if y'all have any questions, of course, y'all drop them right here, okay, for me. And I will come back and I will answer them. And you're more than welcome to share this video with any of your teammates or new stylists. But the things that I do want y'all to walk away with, because it's been over 30 minutes and I don't want to keep this on forever, but I want y'all to walk away with like 3 action items, okay? I want you to think about what your why is, all right? What it is. I want it to be something that's big, okay? And big can be paying for your child's dance class, or taking your family to dinner, or paying for a cell phone bill, whatever level of why you want. And it might not be a financial thing, but I do think that I saw several comments in here about, financial things. But just think about something that your why is, okay? Mine was a trip to California for my brother's wedding. And then think about your vision. Think about a mental image of what the future will or could be like, okay? And I want you to just kind of put those 2 things down on paper and just think about it over the next couple of days, all right? Think about what those are and what they mean to you. And then I want you to think about an obstacle that you have been faced lately, and think about a way that you can kind of work around that obstacle and try something new. Okay. Whether it's, not being able to get samples out to people, or people not be interested in booking nail bar parties. Maybe it just has to do with like the timing or the way it's the verbiage that you're using, or maybe it needs to be like sending out more samples to people and telling more people about Color Street. I don't know. There's like so many different ways that you can like look at the obstacle and figure out, okay, what could I do that could be a little bit different than what I've been doing? Okay. Because let's go back to like when I kept taking Harper back to the doctor because they were trying to like figure out what's wrong. It was like every time I went, they would do something different, right? Because they're not going to do the same thing over because it's going to get the same result for her. They had to try different avenues to see, okay, well, maybe this will work this time or this will work that time. So you kind of have to do the same exact thing with your business, all right? Maybe if you can't get a nail bar party booked, give that a break for a little bit and try to work and focus more on getting a bunch of samples out to people, or not booking nail bar parties and focusing on sending out some thank you cards to some of your customers that are bought from you, or sending out an email to your customers. Okay. But it might be time to just kind of like, if you're having an obstacle that's like a really big challenge and it's kind of like holding you up and like pushing you back from moving forward, just like, I'm not saying cross it off the list. I'm just saying set it aside and like reevaluate that one at another time. Okay. I hope this was halfway helpful to some people. I do feel like we haven't ever really sat here and talked about all the things together that we've talked about tonight. So this was a little bit different than normal, but different's always good, right? We got to try something different sometimes. So, all right. I hope y'all have a great night. And again, Martha, thank you so much for asking me to jump on and chat. And I hope to see everyone later. Let's see, what's tomorrow? I don't even think we have anything like majorly exciting happening tomorrow, do we? But anyway, I'll post something fun in the Ladies of Nailed It chat group. So I will talk with everybody later. Bye, y'all.